This business of looking at local office visits means the offices, for our view right now, of your elected, I like to call them elected because, as Antoinette mentioned earlier, they're not necessarily leaders. We know from our Indivisible training, they work for us. We don't pay them well, but they work for us. So let's take a look at what you can do. Hello, Dindon from years before the masks. I love looking at these faces. What has happened with all of us is because of our actions, we have become communities. It's pretty easy to get someone to go to a rally, make a sign, or attend some kind of speak out, reach out. It's a little harder to get them to go to local offices, which I think is nuts. Because while you're not going to that local office, you know who is? They're going during session to Austin. They're going during session locally. They're going interim locally. Businesses are. Businesses and corporations. And you and I both know why they go. Because they're motivated by profit. How about we start motivating by people? When you act locally, you're going to feel the change. When you vote, where you vote, how you vote, you're going to feel it when you drive past a local soup kitchen. Or when you do, as many of my folks out there have done, when you register people to vote at the soup kitchen or at the food bank. You see what the results are of the policies that they have supported. Another reason that you want to do it is a powerful voice that you have. You are a bigger fish in a smaller ocean when you go to your local office. I get to see my local reps around town. Well, we have a new state senator coming. We have one old one, Jane Nelson, and a new one coming. So we'll see if I really do get to keep seeing them. So let's put the voices of people over the voices of profits. As you are planning your local, oh, by the way, ordinarily you wouldn't have to travel far. Local offices for me are 15 minutes away from my home. They're even faster now. I don't even have to get in the car, which is probably how we're going to be doing most of our contact. But there are 3 things that you need to remember, 3 phases. And this involves planning. And oh my goodness, I love planning. It's what you do before the visit, what you do during the visit, what you do after the visit. The most overlooked thing before the visit is having a clear ask, A-S-K. It's not effective to go in with just complaints or just a big wish list. Go in with specifics. We want your vote yes on this bill. We want you to push this bill to the calendar committee. We want you to vote yes. We want you to vote no. We want you to sponsor these bills. That's what we're having conversations about now, what we want out of you and what are your goals. And I really also want to underscore what Alex said a moment ago about talk to your school board, talk to your city council, talk to your county commissioners. What support do they need from the state? Add your voice to what you can support and pass that on to your senator and your rep. A little bit more in depth about each of these. Here's what you do before the visit. Gather your group. And I know my Denton folks out in the audience, they'll recognize these faces. Gather your group, set your goal, plan your ask. You don't have to take notes on all of this. I have a document with a checklist. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, boom. It's here. The ask is really important, and assign roles. You, as the instigator, don't have to do every single role. You just have to see that the other things get done. Let's take a look at during the visit, and let me go over some of the highlights there. No surprise here. If you don't plan your work, you're planning not to be successful. So follow your plan and make sure you have a backup, because it's still going to be 2020 feeling for a while in 2021. Furthermore, the Texas legislative session is full of whiplash. So buckle in tight, put your helmets on, take care of your neighbors, and go out and contact those folks. During the visit, 2 things. This is your visit. This is your time to talk to them. This is your time to listen to them. It's not their time to talk to you. And it's certainly not their chance to talk down to you. And last, as we all know, take pictures. Screenshots are necessary, perhaps. If you don't record it, it didn't happen. Plus, you can't blast your social media with all the wonderful things you're doing and all the things that you've asked. So amplify your message, by putting it on social media. After the visit, debrief. What was the good? What was the bad? What was the ugly? Debriefing after a visit gets you ready for your next visit. What went well? Give it a complete analysis. I think I forgot to say this, but at the end of the visit, be sure to thank the staffer. We haven't talked about staffers yet. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be talking to a staffer. Oh, and I see Cher's question. Actually, Cher, they can prohibit pictures. Let me get back to that. They cannot prohibit you taking recordings, and they cannot prohibit you taking screenshots. Why? Because Texas is a one-party permission state. And by going onto a public platform, they are giving their consent. So just follow your plan, make a new plan, and be regular about it. Set a time every week and a day when either 2 or 3 of you or more of you are going to make this visit. I kind of sped through that, but I'm always happy to help. And you can send a message to our Facebook page or our group. You can send a message to our email if you've got any further questions. And oh, by the way, when you decide to join us, you'll go to our website. You'll fill out the join us form, as many questions as apply. And then you'll get an email from me because I get to be your concierge as I induct you and onboard you and get you ready to be in Texas Lege.
I wanted to re-emphasize something that Sharon mentioned. It's really important to be nice to the staffers. And I think this is a big difference too from U.S. Congress and U.S. Senate. The staffers are always very polite. And so be polite back. There is still some, congeniality left in our state government. So let's, keep it that way and keep the conversations going so we can make change happen. Even, if we disagree, I'm sure there's some places where we can get the other side.
If you watched the Texas Tribune at all last week, you heard the repeated phrase, the Texas House. What's its second name? The People's House.